Hello again, it's Chameleon Artist, and today I will be looking at the series Monsters at Work. Monsters at Work is a very recent episode series on Disney Plus that is only at its 5th episode, but it's still worth a top 5 list. And this series is about, you guessed it, monsters from the Monsters Inc. team who are at work. So let's look at the list. Let's look at the top 5 funniest Monsters at Work moments so far. These moments don't have to be like just a second, but they're also not like a whole episode. So let's get to the list, shall we? What do you think is the funniest Monsters at Work moment? Let me know down in the comments below. Number 5, duct tape. In a damaged room episode in a kid's bedroom, a monster who makes his kid laugh has accidentally sneezed on a wall which has toxic fuels inside it for the wall and make it disintegrate. So Tyler, Val, and Cutter, and I guess Duncan too, have to fix it. And this moment is when Tyler is using the duct tape. And he's focusing on it, but as you can see, you can only hear the noises of the duct tape, and Val and Cutter are looking very concerned because the duct tape is just like... Okay, I don't know how to imitate a duct tape sound. On it. But yeah, I guess that is what it is. He eventually gets it through, but it's surprisingly hard to handle duct tape when you only have very sharp claws for apparently fingers. Number 4, Tyler's welcome ceremony. When Tyler first comes in to Monsters Inc., he is wanting to be a scarer, but he just discovers the hard way that apparently they don't need scarers and now they need jokesters. So he's booted down to Miffed, the Monsters Inc. fraternities team. Now, if you think this might be an okay job, it is, but yeah, it's got its flaws. So when Tyler comes in unexpectedly, the other employees completely throw a welcome ceremony for him that's pretty creative in its own ways. Now, the welcome ceremony is in the dark, and a bunch of props are used as kind of like, like a whole show of what the missions are. Now, you can definitely see how it's so funny because, the employees are so creative with their decorations. And you can definitely see that they're excited that Tyler is joining in, even though he didn't really know it. And just seeing that makes us laugh, or probably makes me laugh. And it's definitely a good intention. Even though Duncan looks a little bit shocked at this, you can definitely admire their creative attempts because it is quite funny. So let's see. So yeah, that is what it is. Number 3, a Scream battery can blows Duncan across the room. Oh, great. Now, Duncan, who is the Monsters at Work, Eric Mifter, who, is just another employee who doesn't really care about his job and sometimes seems to try and screw up Tyler, is the temporary supervisor in this episode after Fritz, who is the actual supervisor, goes on vacation. And when this happens, he kind of it kind of goes into bad problems when he takes such advantage of the employees. But so then Cutter and Tyler decide to unleash a scare can to get a little revenge. And it blows him half across the room and he snaps his chair too. It's something that's definitely a good way to take revenge. And even though Duncan tries it too and it ends up kind of bad in the end, because there is a problem which I won't spoil for you, it is definitely nice to see some revenge. And also, you can't forget at how shocked Duncan looks when this happens. Number 2, Mike on the human inflatable thingy. Now, as the monsters are uncovering more and more human supplies, Mike is uncovering more too, and he finds what is, you guessed it, a whoopee cushion. And you know what that does, probably. So, when Mike is trying to show the class what it does, but, it doesn't do anything. So after seconds, Mike finally tries to read the instructions again and accidentally sits on it, and you guess what happens. Or you know. That is quite interesting because seeing Mike on it is pretty hilarious, and the monsters are only stunned. I mean, it's so, even looking at his face makes it like 10 times more hilarious. Like, just look at that. So yeah, it's pretty funny. Now, before I give you my top pick, here are a couple honorable mentions.
Okay, Fritz, remember, let go of the ball. Okay, yeah.
Go, Fritz! Go, Fritz! Go, Fritz! Go, Fritz! Go, Fritz!
Whoopsie.
Answer the door no matter how much he fake knocks and lies about who he is.
I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. It's just a simple thing. Knock, knock. Who's there? That's how it works. It's called humor.
Number 1, the Hazard song. And yet, in another Mike's comedy class episode, we get a song from Mike that is pretty funny. It's the Hazard song. It's really cool how in the Hazard song there's just so much funny in it, because the way Mike is speed talking as his board is animating and the faces and just the joke at the end makes it very fun to watch. And it definitely reaches the top funny moment in Monsters at Work. And the sees everything. Wow, just wow. That's like all you can say. And it's kind of designed to make monsters kind of know what they need to do while approaching kids to not make their body parts fall off. And he teaches it in a pretty funny song. So, in the Hazard song, Mike just decides to teach in speed, and it's pretty funny as there are jokes in our real world. And then this joke that Roz makes, it's the best. I mean, just everything about Mike's comedy class in this episode cracks me up. And yeah, it can probably crack you up too, because Mike's speed teaching voice is definitely skilled and definitely will stay with you for a while. And just even the frantic piano playing and just the jokes that Mike makes about human parts and even Rose's joke at the end really add up to make the funniest part of Monster. So yeah, that's Mike's Hazard song. Okay. So with that being said, that's it. What parts did you think were very funny in Monsters at Work? Like, what were your favorite parts, like, that you thought were pretty funny? Well, let me know down in the comments. And and thanks for watching, as always.